But let's speak to our Liverpool fan first of all, and it is Nabil Ajram who joins us now. Hi, Nabil. I was going to get Crystal Palace before you, but we're going to talk Liverpool first. Nabil, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. What about you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. What do you think about this Community Shield, and how important is it for you? Because Liverpool have played many of these matches down the years.
Yes, that's true. We've lost one against Arsenal. We've lost another against City, but the last one, it was a win against Man City as well. And today's game against Palace is a tough test because Palace have a strong team, a great manager. They just won their first major trophy in their history. So I guess a win today will be a great boost for to start the season in a great way.
And Nabil, you're from the official Liverpool Supporters Club in Morocco. How big is
Yeah.
it? How many members?
Yeah, we're about 55 people watching the game today. So we have many members are not here because they're traveling. It's summer, but today we're 55. We're more than 100 normally. Other matches last season we were 100, 120, but today 55 Moroccan fans will be cheering and hoping for Liverpool to win the Community Shield.
Nabil, stay with us because we're also joined by James Pearce, the Liverpool correspondent for The Athletic, Liverpool
Yeah,
expert. James, thanks for
of
joining
course.
us on the BBC World Service. What have you made of the team news, the four new signings starting the match? That's going to be really exciting for the Liverpool fans to see them in action for the first time.
Good afternoon. Yeah, it really is. It's a really strong team. Arne Slot's put out there today. A boost to see Alisson Becker back in goal. Of course, he missed the back end of Liverpool's pre-season tour of Asia due to a trip back home to Brazil for some personal issues that he needed to sort out. But as you said, yeah, a lot of the business they've done this summer is out there from the start today. A new look backline, Frimpong and Kirkez, adding pace and youth and dynamism down the flanks. The established defensive axis of Virgil van Dijk and Kanate. And then I think a lot of people will be excited to see Florian Wirtz operating today as the number 10 operating ahead of Jones and Szoboszlai in that midfield. And then, of course, a front three of Gakpo, Ekitike and Salah.
As a neutral, I'm so looking forward to seeing Florian Wirtz in the Premier League. He brings goals, he brings assists. It's a new dimension to this already successful attack, isn't it, James?
Yeah, he is the finished article. I think that's why it was no surprise when Liverpool released record-breaking kit sales this week. The one that sold more than any other is Florian Wirtz with the number 7 on, because he that created such a buzz amongst Liverpool fans around the world. That signing, I think you probably got to go back to when Liverpool signed Fernando Torres from Atletico Madrid. Best part of 20 years ago for an attacking signing that had created quite such a buzz because he is the finished article. You speak to Bundesliga experts and they'll tell you that he is the gem of German football. And certainly from Slot's perspective, he sees Wirtz as kind of filling that creativity void really after the loss of Alexander Arnold to Real Madrid.
Let's get the fans' view then. Nabil, is it the
Yeah.
most exciting signing that you've experienced for years and years for Liverpool?
For me, yes, it's a very big signing, but the biggest for me will be always Virgil van Dijk in the Christmas of 2018. But yes, because we've missed this kind of players since Coutinho, we've never had this number 10 in our team. So I guess he will boost our attacking choices. And yeah, hopefully as well, I hope to see our promising young talents like Rio Ngumoha. He's been fantastic in the preseason. And I'm looking forward to see him this season, really, because he's been great.
James, a lot of the Liverpool fans will be talking about one thing at this game, Alexander Isak, and whether Liverpool can sign him from Newcastle. What's the latest from your perspective? What are you reporting at the moment at The Athletic about Liverpool's pursuit of Isak?
Yeah, that it's ongoing. Obviously, we know that Liverpool had that initial bid of £110 million rejected by Newcastle. We know that Isak is absolutely desperate to complete that move to Anfield. Of course, he's still not back training with the Newcastle squad. There's a standoff there that Eddie Howe's been talking about in the last 24, 48 hours. And of course, Newcastle have got a huge decision on their hands. Do they keep an unhappy player and deal with the consequences of that, or do they come to some kind of compromise with Liverpool over the fee? Newcastle saying initially that they would want £150 million minimum for Isak. Liverpool clearly wouldn't want to go as high as that. So I think it's too difficult to call at the minute which way that's going to go. I think it says a lot that Liverpool haven't moved on from Isak. Of course, they've sanctioned the sale of Darwin Núñez to Al Hilal in the Saudi Pro League. They desperately need to bring in another attacker, but they're not moving on to other targets yet because the hope remains that they can still get Isak over the line.
James Pearce, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the game. You're listening to Sportsworld on the BBC World Service. Seb Bassong is with us, former Cameroon defender, and Nabil Ajram as well from the official Liverpool Supporters Club in Morocco. Seb, your reaction there when James was talking about £150 million potentially for Alexander Isak was priceless. I think you nearly fell off your chair there. What do you make of this pursuit that Liverpool are making of Isak? Do you think they should go for it and go back in there with a bid like that?
I mean, the bid is huge. When we talk, I know this is the market, this is the way the business of football is going at the moment. And honestly, I got nothing to say against that. However, I think Liverpool are in a strong position because they've made some business, some good business, but good business so far. Because if things doesn't click, the whole dynamic is going to be reviewed, and then people are going to come back and say we need somebody else. Now, in terms of Alexander Isak, for me, I think the time is ticking for them because they know that they got time, because it's always the last minute when the season's going to be starting already. People will have a different view. It's crazy how things change over a week or a weekend sometimes about a result, about a performance. One thing is clear, they need another striker, an attacking force. Now, the price tag, I think, this is business. Everybody knows that Liverpool has been spending a lot of money. So Newcastle, they're not going to hold back. They're going to try to get as much money as possible, knowing that they're still going to play Champions League. So they're a bit in between. And as we all say, in this moment of time, the player I think he has power because nobody wants an unhappy player. However, don't get it wrong. You've been paid. That's your job. Whether you go or you don't go, you're going to have to get it over the line and do your job. You can't really, carrying your unhappiness forever. You have to be the professional that you are, the super player. And I think that's what Alexander Isak is going to have to really master and figure out real quick. But I think Newcastle is going to drag it as long as possible because they don't have no cover, no replacement, and they still play Champions League. So they can't really play around that.
Nabil, what do you think about that? Hugo Ekitike is a really impressive striker. I know that Darwin Núñez now has been sold, but do you still think that this Liverpool team needs Alexander Isak?
Yes, absolutely. Because after the departure of Núñez and the passing of Jota, I guess Ekitike alone won't be enough for our team to compete the whole season. So hopefully Isak joins, because he will bring much needed pace, skill, and goal scoring ability to the front line. So Liverpool, they're looking to strengthen their attacking options, and I guess Isak fits the profile of a modern striker who can create chances and finish clinically. He's a great finisher. And of course, transfers can be complicated. We see in Newcastle are asking for a high tag price. But hopefully he joins our team, because his arrival will be definitely exciting for the fans and will add quality to the squad.
That's what they need, honestly. Even if Darwin Núñez wouldn't have left, they would have needed another striker, because the competition is needed at Liverpool. They've already achieved a lot of things, and in order for them to go and stay at this level, Ekitike is coming, but the Premier League is special. You can't guarantee that he's going to fit in or adapt real quick. So even if Darwin Núñez was still there, you need another really high caliber striker, because when you are the new signing, there's another one, you're going to be on your A game regardless. And this is what you're seeking, this level of competition. And Liverpool as a club need that a bit everywhere in order for them to remain the title contender.
That would suggest then that they're really confident that they can get Alexander Isak, because if you're saying that, they definitely need another striker for competition, they've let Darwin Núñez go, that would suggest that they must feel that they can get Alexander Isak. So that is going to be fascinating to follow over the next few weeks. So the Community Shield coming up live on the BBC World Service. We are building up to that, but it would be wrong, Seb, to not ask you about Newcastle, because you're a former Newcastle player. A lot's been said about their struggles in the European summer, and that they've been struggling to bring players in, this Isak situation as well. Tell us your perspective on it, because you joined Newcastle as a youngster. You went there, you were keen to go there. Why does no one want to join Newcastle in this European summer?
I think because the player that are, I don't really know, because Newcastle is a great club. I think people, they would only find out when they get there, but you got to make the move, you got to make the jump. And the competition from other clubs, when you talk about Liverpool and Newcastle, it's not about Champions League. Champions League is not enough. Likes of Alexander Isak, he wants to have more chance to win the Champions League, not only take part in the Champions League. And respectively, with all the love I have for the Geordies from Newcastle, I don't think they are on the verge to win the Champions League. Now they just got back. So I think people are a bit hesitant, because Newcastle, maybe they can't really pay as much as other clubs because of the financial fair play, for many reasons. But at the end of the day, I think that's I wouldn't say a mistake from people to not join Newcastle, but it's a matter of not stature of the club, but the way people look at the club at this moment of time.
Just quickly, is the distance from London anything to do with it? Because a lot's been said about that. When you were joining, you're laughing at that, but people are saying that, though, aren't they? That it's so far away from London, and that puts players off. But Newcastle's a lovely place. There's a lot to do there. When you were joining Newcastle, did you think about things like that?
No, because I didn't know nothing about UK. I had never been in the UK in my whole life. The first time I put foot in the UK was when I went on a trial in Newcastle. So I didn't know anything. But nowadays, I think people and players, entourage, they're looking at a lot of things. Newcastle, as much as I love Newcastle, it's not London, it's not Manchester, it's a bit different, and it's out of the way. Now, if you are going to play football, you got to focus on football. And there's enough to do outside to not even think about it. Obviously, it's smaller, so you can't really get away from people. Newcastle is a warm place. Everywhere you go, you'll be spotted, you'll be recognized. But on the downside, the love and affection is out of this world. So you pick and choose. You got to pick your poison. At some point, you got to pick your poison. And for me, I shouldn't be taking into consideration the fact that it's too far from London. For me, that's irrelevant.
In a word, though, Seb, where do you live now?
London.
Seb Bassog is staying with us on Sportsworld. Nabil is staying with us as well. But we're going to hear from the Liverpool manager now ahead of our commentary, Liverpool against Crystal Palace. He says that winning a trophy today would give them good momentum as they look to defend their Premier League title.
If you can start the season with the chance of winning something, because normally you have to play numerous games before you can win something. If it's the League Cup, FA Cup, let alone Premier League or Champions League, normally you win something in the end of the season. And now we have a chance to win something in the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, we face a very good Crystal Palace that have been very difficult to win against for us. We played 1-1 against them in the last game of the season, and they showed in the last final and in the semi-final, by the way, as well, how hard it is to win a one-off game of them. So I think most of the players that they have are still there. So even more reason to know what a difficult team it is to play against.
Just picking up on what you were talking about Sunday, you've played a lot of different teams in pre-season, but are Palace actually, the perfect opponents to set you up for the season? Such a mature side, set style of play. They'll threaten you in multiple different ways. Yeah.
That last thing they indeed do. Counter-attacks, set pieces, long ball to Mateta. So they have also the individual quality of their forwards who can create out of nothing something. So very good team, and it indeed gives us. But that's, I think, what Bilbao did and Milan also already did as well, and the Japanese team, by the way, also gave us a lot of competition. So, and that's definitely what Palace is going to do, because they kept their team together. So they just hit the ground running again, probably after being a few days off, and it's still the same team. So a team that performed really well, especially in the end of last season, and a good challenge for us to start the season with.
And considering how much you had to acclimatise to last summer and how late players arrived, just how valuable from a coaching point of view have you found this pre-season?
That's completely true. The good thing about last season was that the whole squad stayed, so they knew each other very well already. Now a few players have left. We brought a few players in, so that always takes a bit of adaptation as well, because the players we've brought in, some of them have different qualities than the qualities we already had. So they need to adjust to their new teammates, but we have to adjust to them as well. And it's a good thing we could have worked already for 4 weeks now, I think. So that's the pleasing part of not having a World Cup or another tournament in the summer, that you can work with them from the start.
On a slot, the Liverpool manager talking to the BBC's Rob Schofield. This is John Bennett in the Sportsworld studio. Full commentary of the Community Shield. Coming up, Liverpool against Crystal Palace. We have 24 minutes to go until our first commentary of the 2025-2026 season. Sebastian Bassong is still with us, former Premier League defender, and Nabil Ajram is with us as well, Liverpool fan from the Morocco Supporters Club. Nabil, we're going to let you go shortly so you can get ready for the game. But I want to talk to you about the two new fullbacks, Milos Kerkez and Jeremy Frimpong. What difference do you think they can make to this Liverpool team this season?
I guess they will give us huge attacking depth choices, because we've seen last season Robo and Robertson hasn't been like in his top performances. Tsimikas, I don't see him today in the squad. I guess he'll be leaving in this transfer window. So Milos Kerkez in the left side has been great with Bournemouth last season. So I guess he'll be bringing assists, goals with him. And same thing for Jeremy Frimpong. He had a great season with Bayer Leverkusen. He knows British football. He's been in Celtics before. So I guess they will integrate the team very quickly. They look well prepared in the preseason. So I guess they will boost our attacking choices as well, defending structure, because with Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate, we need a good and performance fullbacks, and I guess they'll be fantastic this season.
The last couple of seasons with Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool, people were talking a lot about their fullbacks, because the attacking force will start, for me, they were starting from there, from the two fullbacks. The fact that they're both gone, that's the big question mark for me, because the players that got in, especially Frimpong, is totally different than Trent. Doesn't have the same foot, the same assist, the same composure, has more pace. So I'm wondering how it's going to look. It's going to affect the team. Kerkez on the left side, he's been in the Premier League. I think he's aggressive. So he suits, I think, the Premier League style of play down to the ground. For Frimpong, I'm wondering, because a lot of assists, from a special assist from long ranges were coming. The attack was starting from the right-hand side with Trent. So, and I'm wondering how the team's going to adapt around that. So that's, for me, going to be the two signing that might have the most impact, because the attacking force, the strikers, they've been bought for it to score goals. That's what you expect from them. But when you look at the Liverpool team on a closer look, I think those two fullbacks, if they can really pick up the pace and really understand the way of play, that's what's going to give the Liverpool look of this season. That's what I'm going to look at today.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Jeremy Frimpong in the Premier League as well. Nabil, we're going to say goodbye to you now. Thanks so much for joining us. What are your plans for the match? Where are you watching today?
Well, watching with my partners from OLSC Morocco, and hopefully we're going to get the win and start the season perfectly.